Perfect. All right, so to start our class today, we're actually going to talk about all the different items that are actually accessible that we can help you guys out with in order to make sure you're utilizing KDB Command to the most of your ability. So the first thing, though, that we're going to do, this isn't going to be like our normal kind of overview class, but it's really going to feature more about the services that we can provide for free for you guys to help out. All right, so we're going to go over some of the top items we can actually do, and then before we even get into that, we're going to go over here and talk about some of the different items that are available inside the back end of your KDB Command platform, just to make sure that if you are making the move, that you know where a couple things are located. All right, so it's going to cover a little bit of our KDB Command overview class that we do too. All right, so obviously the first thing on here is to make sure that you are accessing KDB Command directly. I don't know what you might be talking about. It looks like it's working over here properly. So inside KDB Command, obviously you'll go to agent.kdb.com, and then you can just sign in with your username and your password immediately. All right, and that's how you can actually access the back end on here. All right, now a couple things to note inside KDB Command, just to give you guys a heads up. Obviously, it's a little bit more than just a CRM that a lot of people will typically think about. All right, so it's a lot more than just obviously your contact section. All right, and there are a couple things that we can actually do to help you guys out tremendously on here. So first thing first, just to give you guys kind of a little bit of an overview in case you are about to make the switch over to Command from your current CRM. First thing first, just a little bit of an overview section. These are all of your applets on the left-hand side that you can actually utilize. All right, so just talking about these real quick, obviously you'll have the home section, which is going to be your dashboard location. All right, so these are kind of the main items you want to take a look at, including like your goals on here, any new leads that have come through, any new tasks that you may have to do. All right, so pretty much kind of all of your to-do items or anything you want to stay up to date on. Now, beyond that, you'll also happen to have your contact section. All right, this is going to be your main CRM. All right, so if you're utilizing another CRM, another real estate platform, all right, this is where all those contacts can be exported and mass imported, or you can actually start to add contacts individually one at a time. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up on here. Now, there is not a limitation as to how many contacts you can have in the back end. All right, so I just want to give you guys a heads up on that. You are only able to import 4,000 contacts at a time, though. All right, so I just want to let you know about that. All right, now beyond that, you'll also have to have your tasks section. All right, so in this case, if on your current CRM you're utilizing any type of task, any type of, task management type items, or whatever you might need to do each day for any type of plan that you have set up. All right, this is going to be very similar on here. It should be working as far as I know on here. Let me double check real quick for you guys. Sorry, someone just said there wasn't a... All right, let's try that one more time. All right, you should be able to hear everything on there. If you can't hear me or anything, let me know on here. Try this one more time, as it should let you in properly. All right. So if you want to add inside any type of task, this is where you can actually set this up immediately. All right, this is going to be your back-end task section, and it will sync with your Kelly app. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up. If you are utilizing Kelly, this is where you can access everything immediately on here too. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up on that one. All right, now beyond that, you'll also happen to have your smart plans. Now this is actually through KW directly, and these are all the different plans that you can utilize. Now it's a little bit more than just, at the end of the day, email campaigns or anything like that. All right, this is actually going to have all of your different plans that you can use, all right, including, birthdays, anniversaries, open houses, monthly neighborhood pieces. All right, so if you were utilizing, say, for instance, eEdge previously, and you're using the This Month in Real Estate campaign, you could instead use the monthly neighborhood nurture on here under the smart plans to combat that. All right, that'd be an easy transition for you. All right, now below that, you also happen to have the referral section on here too. Now this is going to be almost identical to your referral section on kdbconnect.com. All right, so if you are looking to send over any type of referrals to other agents at KW, all right, this is where you can access it and send that over immediately. All right, so these are all intercompany referrals that you can utilize right away. All right, then of course for the opportunities, if you are utilizing that as well or haven't started quite yet, all right, this is one of the main items you will be, wanting to utilize, to say the least, because this will actually sync with the commissions tab and how you can actually get paid at the end of the day. All right, so this is going to make your life a lot easier because you can track that lead to close process. All right, below that you will have the campaign section too. this is going to be split into two different options of paid and free campaigns. All right, so your paid campaigns will be through items like pay-per-click marketing. It'll also be through additional items like postcard mailouts. All right, and then in addition to that, you'll also have the other option of just posting onto social media directly. All right, or of course, you can also go through and send out emails. Now, just to give you a heads up, the email provider currently for the campaign section is through MailChimp. All right, so if you have a MailChimp account, that's fantastic. All right, if not, that is free. All right, so that is a free option of up to 2,000 2,000 contacts per month that you can utilize, or 10,000 emails. All right, so if you have less than 2,000 contacts in your database, you'll be able to utilize this for free. All right, and then hopefully very soon, Command Email will actually take over for that too. All right, below that, you're going to have your reports section. This is where you can actually keep track of all the different reports that are going on over inside KW Command, or even outside of that, you can even track all of your GCI reports too. You can actually set your goals for 2020 to go through and specify, what do you want to actually make this year, and what are your current expenses. All right, it'll then track based on your projections what you need to do as far as how many leads you need to bring in, how many contacts, how many actives, how many under contracts, how many solds. It'll actually do all the mathematics for you to make sure that you reach your goal. All right, in the design section, this is where you can actually create all of your different landing page, not landing pages on here. Well, you can, but we'll talk about that in a second on the consumer. All right, but this is where you can actually find all of your different marketing pieces. Let's just say that to be a little bit more general on it. All right, so you can actually create social media pieces. All right, you can create different, print marketing pieces. You can create email pieces. All right, it's all available under your designs on here. All right, so whatever CRM you might be utilizing right now, this is going to be very similar, where you can actually go through, drag and drop the different information, and you can actually create these pieces very easily. Now, the good part about this is if you've ever used a platform like Canva before, this can be very similar at the end of the day. All right, the listing section on here is going to be kind of similar to your MLS, except way more robust, because in this case, it's actually going to pull in just about every MLS across the country. All right, so at the end of the day, you can actually go through and start to search for additional properties outside of your MLS now. All right, so previously on your main website, whenever you have an IDX feed set up, it was for your board. All right, well, in this case, it's actually going to show all the different listings across all the different MLS boards instead. All right, so the best part about this is if you start to utilize your KW Command site, all right, or start to utilize your app or anything of that sort, even making a landing page we'll talk about in a second, you can actually feature different listings on there even outside of your area. So even though I'm located in Florida, all right, I might happen to have some family members or friends that are over in California or over on the West Coast that I can then tell them, hey, feel free to utilize my website. You can actually search for additional properties that are available for you right on here, and you can utilize it for free at any time. All right, then we have the insights. You can skip over that for the time being. All right, but then we can see the consumer section. Now, one thing to note, if you're not seeing consumer on your page, or whenever you're actually viewing your page, if you're not actually able to access this, that's okay. All right, just try zooming out, and it should pop up immediately on here. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up. That'll pop up right away for you to utilize. All right, this is where you can actually access all the different consumer applications. All right, so this is where you can set up your IDX site. You can set up landing pages. You can view your app information. This will help out tremendously at the end of the day for you to get all those different consumer tools up and running. All right, so I just wanted to go over what each of these applets are real quick. So if you guys are thinking about making the jump to KW Command from your current CRM, all right, this will give you a little bit of an overview of how you can actually find all those additional items and how you can see how your current CRM matches up with what's available on Command on here. All right, now beyond the Command section, right over here on the left-hand side for all those applets, one final thing, and then we're going to go over to our website to actually see all the free items we can do for you guys. One final thing that you can actually, I would highly suggest taking a look at, is under your settings section. All right, so if you click on your name at the top right and then go to settings, this is where you can set up all of your connected applications, and you can also set up all of your marketing information. All right, this will auto-populate on all the different marketing pieces. All right, and one of the free items I'm about to show you in a second is where we can actually do that for you too. All right, so pretty much everything I just talked about on here, and then all these items over here, we're going to talk about where you can find that on our website to utilize as well, where we can actually help you out to make that transition. All right, but if I click on this little settings option on here after clicking on our name at the top right, here we go. All right, the first thing that's going to pop up are all of our connected applications or our connected apps on here. All right, and as long as it says connected or disconnect, all right, then that means that we are all good to go. So as you can see, I already have DocuSign connected on my account. I have .loop connected as well, Facebook ads. All right, so a bunch of different items that are available on here, or technically Facebook posts on there. All right, this is where you can actually connect all of your applications to utilize on command. All right, as long as they're connected on here. So if I scroll down a little bit further, I can click on Connect Account, and that'll allow me to utilize all these different apps over inside my backend. All right, so as long as they are connected up here at the very top, you are all good to go. And these are completely customizable, so you can go through and tweak them anytime. So if I'm utilizing my current Twitter account on here, so if I set up and I click on Connect Account, for instance, all right, make sure you have your pop-up blocker turned off on here, because that'll be very crucial for this to pop up, actually. All right, but if I go through and I actually set up my current Twitter account, and then I decide later on, hey, I just made a brand new one. I don't want to use my personal one anymore. Here's my new one for my business. You can go through and disconnect and reconnect to the new account anytime. All right, so nothing is set in stone by any means. You're definitely more than welcome to go through and tweak this. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up. All right, and adding this in, see if I can remember all this stuff on here too. Hopefully that's the proper password. We're going to find out real quick. All right, it was not. All right, so adding it in, as long as you know what your password is very simple, and then you can connect that immediately. Let's see if that works. It's okay. I'll come back and I'll figure it out soon. That's how often I sign into Twitter. All right. But in this case, you can add on additional applications. If you want to sync up with Google Calendar, if you want to sync with your Gmail account, with Twilio for SMS text messaging. If you're utilizing Outlook 365, you can link with that as well. All right, so there are plenty of different options that are available for you on here. And one big thing I would highly suggest taking a look at is at the very bottom, it'll say Command Email. All right, so Command Email on here is the email provider that's going to send out all of your smart plans. And hopefully very soon it'll send out all your campaign emails too. Now, the email that it's going to send from is going to be a specific KW.com email that KW has given to you. Not your actual KW.com email, but a different one that's specific for you to utilize with Command Email. Now, anyone that receives that email, if they reply back, though, those replies can go to any email you specify, and you can obviously change the sender name on here, too. So right now, I have, obviously, my name on here, but if I want to change this to Scott Leroy Marketing, I can update that as well. All right, and whenever I am utilizing this, I can actually see how many emails I've sent out at any time. All right, but you can go through and save those changes anytime you want to. All right, and then the final thing I want to show you in the back end before we get to our site, under Connect Settings. So we're currently under the command settings of applications. All right, but under Connect Settings on here, this is where you can access that marketing profile. This information is going to auto-populate over on your landing pages. It'll auto-populate on your IDX site. All right, this is going to help out tremendously to make sure that all of your information is displaying on here. All right, so if you ever decide that, hey, I want to change my email address, I want to change my headshot, my logo, my phone number, my office address if we just moved, all right, whatever it might be, this is where you can actually go through and update that immediately. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up on here. All right. Now, all this is completely customizable 24/7, and we do help to actually set this up for you guys. I just want to give you a heads up on that. All right, but in this case, you can actually go through and fill out all of your information if you ever need to update this at any time. And this will update over on your IDX site. It'll help to update on your app, and also over on landing pages, marketing pieces. All right, the list goes on and on. All right, that's a good part on it. All right, so that was just a very brief overview that I wanted to show you guys real quick on here. But let's get to the nitty-gritty of everything. All right, so the main purpose of this class that we started doing is really to show how we can help you shift over to utilizing KW Command to try and take as much off your plate. All right, so since your office is utilizing our virtual tech services, I want to make sure that you guys are utilizing everything possible we can help out with. Now, we do have a class that purely goes over all of our services, but this one's going to be a little bit different as it's only going to feature what we can actually do to help out with Command, all right, to make sure that you're utilizing it. All right, so the biggest thing I always tell agents to really use at the end of the day under the scottleroymarketing.com website, all right, is going to be our support section. So if you utilize that KDB resources and go to support on here, this is where you can access all the different support items that we can offer for you right away. Now, beyond the normal troubleshooting, where you can call or email us and we can actually help you guys out with any issues, questions, concerns you may be having right now, all right, these are all of the free items that we can actually do immediately for you. All right, and we're going to talk about some of the bigger items that you can actually use right away too. All right, so I'm going to click on the support section real quick. Now, once you click on the support, it is going to ask you to sign in, and if you notice, it's going to ask you to sign in with your Market Center number or password. Now, about 99% of the offices, probably 99.9% of the offices, the password is the Market Center number. All right, and if you need help finding your Market Center number on here, there you go. All right, if you need help finding your Market Center number at the end of the day, you can actually go to MyKW, and it'll be located right at the top right once you sign in to mykw.kdb.com. All right, but I'm just going to sign in with one real quick, so I'll sign in with 25. Click that login button. That'll give you access to everything. Now, signing in with your Market Center number will be very crucial because that'll help to find the specific info that we have for your office already set up for you. There we go. I can X out of this. Now, our support page on here. All right, I'll put this over inside our chat section as well in case you guys want to jot this down. All right, scottleroymarketing.com. All right, /support. All right, that'll help out tremendously to access this support page right away. All right, so that way you don't have to go through our actual home page anymore. Now, all these items that are listed on here are all clickable buttons that'll actually take you to a short form to fill out so we can help you out even further. All right, so with that being said, just looking at the command services alone, and we're going to see additional services on here too, and I'll go ahead and talk about them as well since we're on this page. All right, but if you need help setting up your command profile, your command IDX site, we can actually do that for you. If you need help getting DocuSign up and running, if you want to move your e-edge contacts to command, all right, if you want to actually just import a database or import top producers, set up MailChimp, all right, obviously some of the items go on and on. We can actually do all of that for you. Now, the top items that agents will typically take advantage of are obviously setting up the entire IDX site or the command profile, all right, or importing a database on here. All right, that's going to be another big item that we can actually do. Now, for the database help on here, all we would need is just your contacts in a CSV file, a numbers file, or a VCF file. All right, so CSV, numbers, or a VCF, and then we can actually reformat that to get that in for you immediately. Now, we typically say we do about 5 CSV files per agent per month to help out. All right, just so that way we can get them in as quick as possible. All right, most agents will typically just have maybe 1 to 3 CSV files. And this could be coming from your phone, could be coming from your MLS, your current CRM, could be coming from Gmail, from LinkedIn. All right, the list goes on and on. So if you need help actually exporting that, all right, if you hover over KDB Resources again and go to Training, we actually have an Exporting Contacts section that'll walk you through step-by-step how to export that from your backend. All right, it's always nice, even if you have no intention of adding these to command, it's always great to have an exported version of your contacts because you may delete something from your current location. Like say, for instance, you're using Gmail every day, or you're using your KDB.com email, and you delete a contact on there on accident. All right, it's always nice just to have a backup of those contacts in case you ever need to, well, get it back in. All right, so this will help to export a good amount of contacts on there. All right, so in this case, even if you need something as simple as, moving your e-edge contacts to command, all right, we can actually help to mass export and mass import that for you. All right, so our goal at the end of the day over here is really to take as much of this off your plate as possible. All right, we want to make sure that you're able to actually get back to helping people, buy and sell homes. All right, so all this technology stuff, we want to help to really alleviate that for you. Now, beyond just these items on here, so we have just 9 listed on there. Then, of course, we have some miscellaneous items. So even if it's something as simple as, hey, on here, for instance, I want to get a QR code that I can actually utilize. All right, so if you want to actually add inside a QR code on here or anything of that sort, all right, we can actually set this up for you right away. All right, so if it's for a brand new listing that you want to set up, a landing page you created, all right, maybe you actually want to go through and, you want to set up, one for your app or anything of that sort. All right, we can actually do all of that for you to create this. All right, or if you need help and you are leaving a team and you want to make sure that your entire command platform is set up as an individual agent now. All right, or in this case, say for instance, you need to update your bio, your email, your headshot, your phone number, your social media info, you're creating a team. All right, we can actually go through and make sure that everything is set up in all locations for you. So that way, if you're starting to utilize Command, we can make sure that your IDX site, your app, your profile, your marketing pieces, your K2B Connect profile, your white page is back in. All right, everything is completely up and running properly. All right, so all these are completely free for you guys to utilize, and you can click on any of these. All right, I clicked on one as an example, and I'll talk about this in a real quick second. All right, and then below that, we have K2B email services for you guys too. So that way, even if you have no intention of utilizing the K2B.com email, and maybe, for instance, you just want to forward it over, we can do that for you as well. All right, we can obviously help to set up a K2B email, set up an additional K2B email. If you're creating a team and maybe you just want to have a team email too, we can set that up as an alias. All right, plenty of additional options on here. But the other really big item on here is obviously the website services. Now, these initially were meant for, obviously, the prior K2B websites, Playster and eEdge, but they've all transitioned to the IDX site, too. All right, so if you are letting go of your current IDX website, all right, wherever it might be, whether it's a custom one, whether you're making a move and you had Playster previously and now you're utilizing the Command one, all right, whatever it might be, we can help to make that site a little bit more robust. All right, so obviously beyond getting the basics up and running of making sure your name, your info, your bio, your headshot, your logo are all on the back end, we can also help to add inside testimonials for you. We can add inside a custom app page for you. All right, we can point your domain over. So if you purchase a domain from GoDaddy, we can actually help to point that over for you too. All right, we can go through and set up Google Analytics. We can set up the Homekeeper blog or Homekeeper preferred vendors on a page on there for you. All right, so there's a bunch of different items that are actually accessible on here that you can utilize. All right, and a lot of people will usually use the Homekeeper option, obviously forwarding domains, and even this mortgage calculator on here too, so we can help out immediately. All right, so these are all accessible and all available for you guys to utilize. All right, it's just stuff that we will actually do to help make your life a little bit easier to really use all these command tools. All right, because obviously if you're moving over from your current CRM and you want to start to utilize command, well, you want to make sure that everything is as similar as possible. All right, so obviously not everything may be able to be mimicked. All right, obviously every CRM is a little bit different on there. Great question. So the question came in, can we request multiple at once? We are working on that. So we're actually about to work on it where you can just go through and, like, for instance, on website services, it'll just say which ones do you want, and you can check on each one, and then it'll just ask if you need any additional items. The only reason that has not happened quite yet is because, for instance, on Homekeeper, if we click on this, so this is what it'll look like on each one, just to give you a heads up. It'll just kind of give you a quick form to fill out, so we'll know exactly what you're looking for, so we can get that up and running immediately. But on this one, for instance, for Homekeeper, it'll ask kind of the basic stuff. What's your name? What's your email? How can we access your account to set this up? But then it'll also ask on here, like, hey, what's your login for Homekeeper, so we can get that up and running. Now, not every form on here is going to ask for that specific information, but that is one reason that we're kind of slowly adding that in, because we don't want to inundate you guys with asking for countless login info. If you wanted one for Homekeeper, one for KCM, one for, domain forwarding, for instance. All right. So some of these items may require additional login info. Yep, all of them are free. Yeah, it's just all stuff that we'll actually do for you. The only one on here, like Keeping Current Matters, that is actually a paid subscription through them directly. So a lot of agents have that, and we've just kind of helped to add that in. But all these other items, like adding in testimonials, setting up a custom app page, setting up Google Analytics, that's all stuff that's free that we'll actually do for you. All right, and I kind of jumped the gun on it because I showed the Homekeeper one real quick. But even if you need help moving your contacts over or anything like that, all right, if you're going from eEdge over to Command, all right, then we can actually do this on here. What's your name? What's your last name? How do you want to be, alerted that everything's been completed? What's your login on here too? Yep. So right now you would want to request each one separately, just so we'll know exactly what you're looking for. That is still a work in progress, so we can actually set it up where you can just request multiples at the same time. Hopefully one day it'll be a lot easier than just asking for all the login info. All right, but I just want to give you a heads up, that is something that's available on there. Yep, so the KW app setup is available. So in this case, you can actually go, so even if you go to scottleroymarketing.com/command on here, for instance, all right, this is a section where you can actually access this backend. All right, and once you go through the command section, you can actually set this up, and we'll be able to go through and move all this over for you and actually set up that app as well. So whenever we actually go through and set up your profile and your website on here, this will allow us to go through and also set up your IDX site, and we can also add inside that app page too. But since we're setting up everything on your back end, this will also feature on your app too. All right. So that was one of the biggest things I did want to show you guys, and that's all under the support section that you can access. Now, one other really big thing though, all right, so if you are making the move over to the KW tools, and maybe for instance you haven't even set up any of your KW technology, or maybe you had the KW technology set up a while ago, all right, it hasn't been set up quite yet, and you just want to double check everything's good to go. All right, so this is the last thing I'm going to show you guys. I knew this class would only take about 30 minutes or so. It's a nice little breather into the week and whatnot. But scottleroymarketing.com/existing. Here we go. And I'm going to put this over on our chat section too for you guys to pull this up. All right, this is actually our existing agent questionnaire. All right, this is basically going to say, hey, we're going to treat you like a new agent when we do our normal onboarding, except what we're actually going to do is we're just going to spot check everything for you. All right, so we're actually going to go through and double check that all the items beyond command, like everything on the MyKW platform as well, is set up. Now, this existing questionnaire, so I know the question came in, can we request multiples at once? This will actually combine a good amount of those items into one section. All right, so for instance, if you're trying to get MailChimp set up, if you want to also set up your Command IDX website, if you want to go through and you want to set up, DocuSign as well, this will all actually be completed under this existing agent questionnaire. This is a way where we can just pretty much spot check that you guys are all good to go and make sure that you're completely up and running. So we will, at the end of the day, treat you kind of like a new agent that just joined KW to ensure that everything possible is active. Now, if you have anything that has previously been activated, we will leave that as is. So you don't have to worry about that. We're not going to override anything that you've done previously. All right, but anything that is not filled out quite yet, we will go through and update on here. All right, and it just asks very minimal info. What's your login? Obviously on here. What's your address as well that you want us to put on there? What's your cell phone number? And that's it. All right, then that way we can actually go through and spot check everything possible. Now, this existing agent questionnaire is the closest item we have as of right now, so as of April 6th, for us to actually having multiple items in one location. All right, so if you're just looking for some place to start, I may highly suggest the existing agent questionnaire. So scottleroymarketing.com/existing, and I'll put this over in our chat section as well too. All right, or scottleroymarketing.com/command. All right, and that'll help out tremendously on here. All right, so the good part about this is, so once again, as a quick recap before we finish off the class, if you go to scottleroymarketing.com, everything under KW Resources is what you'll definitely want to take a look at. All right, the support section is where you can find all of our free support items that we can actually do on your behalf. All right, so it's it's pretty much just going to get done for you, which is the best part about it. All right, the biggest items that agents will typically take advantage of is us setting up their command backend, us moving over all of their contacts, setting up their domain to point over to their IDX site, all right, or like I was talking about before in that existing agent questionnaire, and that's also accessible under the questionnaire section too. All right, then we can actually go through and completely get you up and running. All right, so that way we can double check everything possible to make sure all items are added in and you are all set up. Now, in some cases, you may be completely set up, which is fantastic. All right, but it's always nice to get, a second set of eyeballs on everything to make sure you're all good to go. All right, so once again, that is all available under these KW Resources section. Yep, we sure do. Yeah, so in this case, we do also help with the smart plans on here. So we'll actually help to set this up and then get your contacts added onto them as well. So on here, there is that smart plan section that we can actually help out with. And we can even help to PySync as well. So if you want to actually set up your Gmail account, your MailChimp, your .loop, whatever it might be, to actually sync with your command contacts, we can do that too. All right. Now, one quick thing that I do want to end on as well, because this is a very sought-after question. A lot of agents, whenever they're making the change over to Command or utilizing the website on there, if you're using the .kdb.com URL, there's nothing wrong with that by any means. But a lot of agents have always asked us, we want to get a custom domain. Where can we get one? So I always tell them, go to GoDaddy.com. That's obviously one of the best ones to utilize, and that's what I typically suggest at the end of the day. In this case, it's usually about $11.99 for the first year. But if you do this instead, if you go to Google.com, all right, and you search for GoDaddy $0.99. All right, so if you Google search for GoDaddy $0.99, I'll put that inside our chat section. All right, the first item that'll pop up on here is an ad for GoDaddy 99-cent domains. All right, so in this case, if you actually go through and you purchase a domain for $1 for the first year, all right, it'll be about $1.17 after tax. We can then move that over to help you out immediately. All right, that'll make your life a lot easier on here. All right. So that is going to be it for our little overview class of everything that we can actually do to kind of help you guys out, how to access our support page, where you can access some of the additional items on command, a quick overview on there, our existing agent questionnaire, and some of the top items agents are looking for as well. All right, so to end the class, one last question came in as well. What can't you set up for us that we must do ourselves? All right, so that is always a great question. The first thing that always comes to my mind, we have no clue how to set up printers. So I know that's not command related, but a lot of agents will always ask us about printers and Wi-Fi codes. We have no clue on that one on there. Outside of that, we do try to set up just about everything possible for you guys to make your life as simple as possible. So if there is anything that's not displaying on the support page that you might need help with, please let us know, because we're always looking at new ways to help you guys out even further on there. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up on that. All right, so that is going to be it for our first official Pivot with SLM, and you're welcome.